So in this video we're going to plan our refactoring, fix some bugs, and try and run the tests. And even though Google try and stop us by sticking a CAPTCHA in place, we're going to work around that and we are going to refactor this code. Well, plan it. Okay, so in GitHub at the moment we've got two tests. We've got the initial recon test, and we've got a PageRank test, which is a tool. Now this is a bit messy now. This really needs to be refactored. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new test based on this called refactored test, and I'll build everything up from there. So we've still got all the tests in the version control system, so you can look back and compare them easily. So let me do that first. Now the refactoring that I'm going to do on this is going to be very different, or slightly different than if I would do if I was automating this for the purposes of testing. Because I'm using Google, I'm using it to do a task. So the abstraction layers I'm going to come up with in refactoring are going to be usage abstraction. So it's going to be refactorings for Google, for search, for results. It's not going to be the search page. It's not going to be the search input field, the search button, the results div, the results next button. We probably won't see that type. It's going to be very task oriented and functional. And ultimately, what I would probably end up with is something like this. Now this is just going to show lots of errors because none of this really exists. But if I get in my head, what I would ultimately expect to see is a PageRank checker object that I instantiate with the different variables or the different definitions I want. So which version of Google am I using? What search term do I want? And what URL do I want to match? And then I'd probably say something like check rank. So I'd probably expect something like that. So I'd have a domain object based around what I want to happen. I want the PageRank result, which tells me what page it's on, what URL matched, and possibly even a list of all the other URLs that were before mine so that I could then go and compare them to see how to do SEO. I would have a Google PageRank checker object that did everything. I just set up, and you can see here I don't even know about WebDriver being used. I don't really care about the implementation because I'm using it. I just want a PageRank checker to use rather than the underlying implementation. In fact, I probably wouldn't even do this. What I'd probably do is tell Google PageRank checker, I want to use google.co.uk. Then once that's instantiated, I'd probably say check rank on google.co.uk for this search for this. So that's even better. So you can see, even though I haven't even written in code, I've refactored the code that I haven't written just to get high level abstraction. So that would set me up for thinking about what I ultimately want this abstraction layer to do for me. And it's not about pages, it's not about results lists, it's just end results. It's task, check, give me the end results so I can do stuff with it. Now I could start working on this level of refactoring, but that would be a step way too far. Right, I want to do small steps, keep this code working all the time, and just do it in tiny chunks, because I have no tests around this. The fact that this works is my test. The fact that I can use this is my test. So I need to refactor it in very, very small chunks to make this safe. So before I do that, I'm just going to think through what I want. So looking at this, we've already made notes that I need a search abstraction. So I'm just going to make a quick plan. Look at that title, plan. So I'll probably have some sort of Google abstraction, because that makes sense, because I'm going to have to abstract away WebDriver. I'm going to have to tell something what the search engine that I'm using. So I'll probably have some sort of Google abstraction to hold this and to instantiate and manage WebDriver for me. From Google, I'll probably have a search abstraction. So I'll have something like google.search.for and then this search term. And that will probably abstract away this search process. And I'll probably also have a results abstraction to handle this stuff. The synchronization on the div loading, waiting for the results to be there, and scraping off the results and return them. So let me make a note of that. Results page abstraction. Now it's probably not going to be a page abstraction. Now normally in test code we would expect page object type abstractions. So search page, results footer with all the little page numbers in there. You probably won't have that type of abstraction because again it's a usage abstraction, not a low-level test abstraction. So I'll probably instantiate this with google.co.uk so I can use it on different search engines if I want. This will probably initially just have the search and wait mechanism. So rather than a search mechanism, then so if I was testing this, I would have a search mechanism, then I'd have the ability to interrogate the page to make sure that the div appeared at the right times, the div that overlays it to stop me clicking on it. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that getting in the way, so I'm just going to have a search and wait until the search is done mechanism. Similarly with the results page, I'll probably have a scrape function because I need access to all these URLs that come back. So I'll probably just scrape this off. Now it's tempting to have just a kind of hash array where the URL is the hash and then the title is the value. But I'll probably go the whole hog in the abstraction and create a domain object. So scrape results to domain object titled URL. So I'll just get a list back from the scrape of a list of titled URLs, which has two fields, the title and the URL. And I could even extend that over time so that titled URL has the page number, has the rank number, like 1 to whatever 300 in the actual titled URL. Probably won't do that to start with, but I could do. And the results page abstraction will probably have, in order to allow me to have a loop, kind of has more entries method and a get more. So rather than a click next, I'll just say get more. Rather than is the next link on the page, it'll just say has more. So that kind of matches up with what we've got here. I think we might see this a few times now. And this is one of the reasons why automating third-party applications through their non-standard interfaces is a bad idea. It might be fun to experiment with, but it's not necessarily a good thing to do. It's not a good idea. So now this synchronization is taking a long time. Is that div even appearing now when we do this automated? I don't think it is. I think the reason this is taking so long is that div overlay is not appearing now. So I think the Google interface changes based on how you use it and how it works. That's interesting. Okay. So I'm going to reduce the time that this takes. So I'm going to give it 3 seconds so everything runs a little bit faster. I'm going to leave that there as a load page type synchronization, even though I think it should be after the click. Now what I also see that's interesting here is when we come into the page, we check to see if the next link is at the bottom. There is no next link on the last page. If I do a search here, jump through, so we can see a next link because I'm on the third page. I'm going to jump through to the last page. You can see the div there. We're getting a different search result in different search experience in different browsers. There we go. There is no next page. So I probably shouldn't synchronize here on the next link. I should sync on the footer div or something. So let's fix that. So the CSS of next button is still valid here, but rather than wait on the next button here. I'm going to wait on the footer. So what will we search for to match the footer? So I guess if there is any anchor with class, is that FL or F1? Let's do a search and find out. Anchor with class FL. Yeah, so that's not just getting, but that should be okay. So I'm going to wait for any link in the footer which has the style FL. And since this is redundant, I'm just going to say wait until that exists. Let's try this search. See what Google serves up now. And there it goes. Oh, why are you doing this to me? Now, because that came up so fast and I changed the timing, this failed. So let's see if this can work this time. So I need a longer time in the first one just to get past the CAPTCHA, just to give me enough time to do the CAPTCHA. Tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to sneakily try something here. Now if I go through the states, it's probably going to redirect me to google.co.com. So I've created a VPN here. Hopefully that will change my IP address so that Google doesn't know that it's me and it won't put up CAPTCHAs. I've changed google.com here because we should be going through that. So let's try this test now. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we fooled Google. Aha. So wait for element to be clickable. Couldn't find it. So there's no a.fl in here, supposedly. Let's have a look. So let's wait for that. CSS of footer. Div. With that as an ID. So I'm just going to say wait until that footer is in the DOM. Let me try that. There we go. The div is back. So I think that bug is now fixed. We're synchronizing a different thing. And we've seen that Google doesn't like us trying to automate this way and mess around with its URLs and its searching. We should really use the API. So I bypassed that for a little while by going through a VPN into America. So I'm going through a different IP address and Google doesn't know where I'm coming from. But really, we shouldn't be automating Google like this. But let's refactor this because that's what we're here for. Because people ask me, how do I automate this? I generally say, don't. You've seen one of the reasons why we don't, but since we are, we find workarounds and we make this happen.